All right, House lawmakers are expected to vote on a continuing resolution to keep the government funded through the end of the month, October 1st. Later this week, House Republicans in the Main Street Caucus and the House Freedom Caucus coming to an agreement last night, led by Byron Donalds, on a proposal that cuts discretionary spending by 8% and keeps defense and the Department of Veterans Affairs spending at current levels. Some Republicans already oppose the bill, but House Speaker Kevin McCarthy told me on Sunday Morning Futures yesterday that a government shutdown is not an option. Walk us through the issues that you're feeling pushback from this handful of members on a continuing resolution. What do you want to see happen here?
Some people say you should shut down, but think about this. I've been through shutdowns, and I've never seen somebody win a shutdown. Because when you shut down, you give all your power to the administration. But how are you going to win your arguments to secure the border if the border agents don't get paid? You have no strength there. I think the greatest ability to it is finish the appropriation work, the show that we do, give us a short time period to get that done, and make the case to the American public.
Joining me right now is Oklahoma Senator, Senate Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions Committee member Markwayne Mullin. Good to see you, Congressman. Thanks very much for being here this morning.
Thanks for having me on.
Can you walk us through where you are on this after a weekend of negotiations?
Well, Kevin McCarthy and the House Republicans are doing the best they can to get the most conservative bill that can pass both chambers and get signed into law. That's important. It's not perfect. It's not the bill that if we controlled both chambers in the White House we'd want. But considering that Kevin is the only Republican at the leadership table right now, he's got his hands full, and I commend him for doing the best he can. I feel like that it puts us Republicans in a much better position if the House moves first. Because if they can't pass this, what Chuck Schumer's going to do is he's going to put a clean CR. He's going to run it through the Senate, and he's going to force the House to either shut down or take the vote. So I commend the Freedom Caucus, the Main Street workers, and the rest of the Republicans and Kevin McCarthy are coming together and trying to get a bill done this week.
For sure. But, you know, you've got lots of factions within your membership that do not want to continue the spending levels of Nancy Pelosi. And that's what you're getting if you get a continuing resolution. Even for 30 days, they don't want it for 10 seconds. No, so what are you going to do? Well,
I agree wholeheartedly with that. The problem is that we haven't been able to get all 12 appropriation bills done in the House. In the Senate, we did. In the Senate, we got all 12 appropriation bills done out of the committee, but Chuck Schumer hasn't brought them to the floor. That's a problem. We should have started the process a long time ago. You know, one thing that Congress is really good at is waiting until the last minute and jam everybody. We knew this fiscal cliff was coming up. September 30th comes around every single year, but we always wait till the last minute to do something about it. And so why you're 100% correct. It's not the option we have anymore because there's no way we're going to get the 12 appropriation bills done out of the House, out of the Senate, and at the same time get to conference and get them passed by September 30th.
So let me get your take on how a strike from the United Auto Workers layers on this and makes things that much more complicated. Right. I mean, you've got, you know, picket line now in place against the big three automakers, General Motors, Ford, and Stellantis, now for a fourth day. We're expecting talks to continue today, but the president of the UAW said an offer by Stellantis is a no-go. That was an offer of 21% increase over 4 years. If you look at these picket lines, you'll see some of your colleagues joining the picket lines. Debbie Dingell was on the picket line. John Fetterman was on the picket line. Is Congress getting involved here?
Well, it's interesting because these individuals that are getting involved, that's picketing with the UAW, are also saying one that's trying to kill their jobs because they're the one that's pushing the EV vehicles. And keep in mind, if these EV vehicle mandates continue to move forward, then they're going to be losing 30 or 40% of their jobs. So whatever pay increase they get, it doesn't matter because most of them are going to lose their jobs anyways. If these UAW workers are wanting to rally around something, rally around keeping consumer choice up and allowing them to pick whatever vehicle they want, rather than allowing the Democrats push this mandate like Governor Newsom and the rest of the Democrats in Washington, D.C. is trying to push on the American people. As far as wage negotiations, hey, let them negotiate between however they want to and whatever they can get. The problem that I have with this is the 32-hour work week for 40-hour pay. That seems absolutely like a non-starter to me. And so UAW and the company need to come together and find some type of common ground, because it is going to kill us and the economy moving forward if we don't get this resolved quickly.
Yeah, I mean, it's costing the economy money every day. The union is now pushing for a wage increase of 36%. First, it was 46%. Now they say they'll take 36% in a pay increase for a 4-year contract. But they want additional money for the cost of living expenses. This is probably the clearest sign yet that the bad policy of all of this reckless spending over the last 2 years has stoked inflation and actually spiked a reason to strike.
Right. Well, we see inflation around us all over the place. Also, keep in mind the UAW strike fund was at over $825 million, so they can afford to strike a little bit. But at the end of the day, the UAW and the companies need to come together for the betterment of America, but they also need to be looking to the future too. I circle back to this. If the EV mandate continues to go down this road, 30 or 40% of these UAW workers are going to lose their job, and while they're on this picket line, they should be bringing up this issue.
Yeah, and just to be clear, Congressman, I want to ask you where you are in terms of this idea, this continuing resolution negotiated by Byron Donalds and Dusty Johnson. I know Marjorie Taylor Greene said she's a no. She says no money for Ukraine, no money for COVID, and she doesn't see any money. She doesn't want any money here for things that are not vital to American families right now. Are you a no or a yes on this?
Well, I don't agree with shutting down the government, and so I want to do whatever we can to keep the government open. If that's a CR, of course, I haven't seen the bill. I've got to go through it and make sure. But I believe with Kevin McCarthy right here, shutting the government down is not an option.
Okay, we're also watching you all negotiate around this impeachment inquiry. President Biden commented on the impeachment inquiry yesterday. Take a listen.
Mr. President, what is your response to Republicans opening an impeachment inquiry into you?
Senator, your thoughts?
Well, you better start taking this serious, because there's some really serious allegations that's been raised. The whistleblowers moving forward. And listen, the House wouldn't even have been down this road by the impeachment inquiry if the Biden administration and his family would have been transparent. But they haven't. They look like they have something to hide, and we believe they have something to hide. And every time we turn over another page, something else comes up that leads us walking down another road. We believe that the House Republicans are going to do their very best to bring forth a case if it's impeachable. And that's what I need to make sure everybody understands. The bar for impeachment is really high according to the Constitution, and the Republicans are going to follow that Constitution. If they do send something over to the Senate, then we will put him on trial, and hopefully we'll be able to convict him. But we want to make sure we follow the Constitution the whole way.
Of course, and we appreciate that. Senator, real quick before you go, I know that Chuck Schumer has now said that senators can be casual. You don't have to wear a suit and tie. Do you think that's because he wants John Fetterman to be able to wear all those hoodies? Is that the reason? What's the reason?
I guess there's a side of me that's super excited about it, because I hate wearing a tie and I'd rather be in blue jeans and a pair of boots and a white T-shirt. But the fact is that you do dress for the job, and we need to be respectful of the position we hold. And I totally disagree with what he's doing here.
But is it because of John Fetterman?
Of course it is. Of course it is. 100%. There's no question. But I sat on a committee with John Fetterman, and I've seen him in a suit once. And like I said, I don't like wearing a suit any more than anybody else. But it's respect for the position that we need to hold high. And it seems completely disrespectful for the people that put him in the position and the position to which he holds.
Senator, thank you.
Thank you.
Markwayne Mullin on the Senate Armed Services Committee. We'll be right back.